What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Nerd Word!
Nerd Word, you fucking nerds.
Yep.
Yeah. So, in the last episode, we talked a little D&D. We talked a little bit of My Hero Academia, and we talked a little trash titties. So, in this episode, we're going to start with DC, and then see where this journey takes us. We'll see where we start and where we end up, alright?
And I hope everything ends up proper.
Yeah, well, as proper as we can be.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I'm gonna hop right into it. The Joker, I have theories, but I want to hear from you. You've only seen half, so you can't really say. You haven't seen the Joker,
Nope.
But you've seen the Joker.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. I have legally acquired it.
Yes. What is your theory? What do you think real? What do you think's real? What do you think isn't? Do you think any of it's real? What do you think?
That's kind of a difficulty because there's a lot of aspects of it that I find that are real, but I kind of think it's not like it's real up to a certain point, then it's fake. It's kind of interspliced together.
I agree. That's how it felt.
Yeah.
It kind of like obviously the good stuff that happened to him was obviously in his mind, where he thought he was doing good on the show, when he thought was
Getting to
That girl.
where
Oh,
the girlfriend finally being able to touch a boob.
I mean, once you touch that boob.
You know it's all in your head. No one touches boobs ever. That isn't a thing that people actually do.
I'm married and I haven't touched one.
Yeah. So my theory. My theory is that there's certain things that happen and certain things that didn't. Like you said, they're kind of spliced together. A friend of mine thinks that none of it's real, and the only real scene was whenever he was essentially getting released and he was hitting his head on the window. He thinks he was never released. He thinks the entire thing,
like the beginning where he's talking to the therapist,
essentially about getting out and stuff. Yes.
Yeah, it's all been the same.
Mm-hmm.
I can definitely see how that would work.
Me personally, I think, and I've watched a few other videos, and you know how you do. You kind of stockpile information gathered from other people, and then you kind of work in your own hypothesis. And what do you think is happening? I think that any scene where any of the reactions from the people surrounding him are neutral to happy is all fake.
Like neutral to positive?
Yes, neutral to positive.
Like you think the doctor scene's fake, where he has a gun.
Well, I think that the beginning part of that scene where people were neutral to happy about him dancing, I think that might have just been
what how he perceived it.
Exactly, because as my friend said, our narrator is the Joker, and the Joker is a very unreliable source. Yeah. So I think that he did meet the girl. I think that they did have that conversation in the elevator. Yeah. I think that he did follow her. But I think the stalking was real, and the first conversation, or
like
at least
whenever he was in
was
the
real.
bed, whenever he was in her house.
But everything else, when he was getting comforted, when she was there, when they were making out, when
he got to touch the boob.
Yes,
like
I think
she went to his comedy show. And
all that was fake. Whenever he ended up inside of her apartment towards the end, and she was like, "Oh, you're the guy down the hall." Yeah. So no longer, you wouldn't say that to somebody that you've been associating yourself with. So here's my question. They kind of alluded to it with what they filmed, but they didn't. As we know, if you don't see a death in a movie or a TV show, you can't be certain that that person was killed because you didn't see it. If you didn't see it, it might not have happened. Yeah. My question is, in the scene where he's in her living room and she asks him to leave and my daughter's in the other room, it does an abrupt cut and then it goes to him in his living room, and then in the windows behind him there are lights of what could be an ambulance or cop cars. kind of to allude to he might have killed her and the daughter. Now, he may not have, and that very well could have just been
a random...
Gotham is a messed up place, and you're gonna see cop lights out the window, you know? I don't know. Do you think he killed them?
I would like to think not, because the little girl was adorable. But with, like you say, Joker being as unhinged and as unattached to reality as he is, I kind of think he did.
Yeah. I don't know if you feel the same way, and it's kind of messed up to say, but it's a movie, and they make you feel a certain way so that when things happen, you also have another emotion that's evoked in you. And whenever the two guys from work, the dude that gave him the gun and the little person, whenever they showed up and they offered him some drink, we know you've been having it rough, hey, we've been getting talked to, we're trying to make you feel better. And then he commences to stabbing him in the face and neck, and then just gets blood all over him, and then lets the other guy know, hey, you were the only one that ever treated me like a person. I'm not going to hurt you. I got to tell you, whenever that dude got murdered, I was real happy. I was like, I'm very glad.
Because he gave him the gun, and then proceeded like, oh, I don't know what he's talking about. He has a gun? That's crazy.
Well, he said, it was even worse in my opinion. If he had denied the gun completely, I feel like it would have been even less worse. What he ended up saying was that
he was trying to sell him the gun.
He was trying to buy the gun off him. Like he let the boss know that, hey, he's been trying to buy a gun off me. What? No. When you handed him the gun, he literally said, what are you doing with a gun? I don't want this. And you proceeded to tell him, hey, protect yourself. Anytime anything for a split second any happy moments, which we agree probably isn't real, anytime anything like that happened, abruptly, directly after, something awful would happen. And I gotta tell you,
that's life.
There's as a person that works on his scripts and stuff like that, you gotta say something to the writing whenever he was in front of those kids and performing for them, and then that gun fell onto the floor, and then the way that he reacted to it, I don't know if made you feel the way I felt, but I had like this sinking feeling in my stomach, like, oh my god, like that's literally why, man, that's the worst thing that could have happened. And it's funny because it's not some big explosion, it's not some crazy outlandish scene, it's him dancing for the kids and then a gun falls on the floor, but they built up to it so incredibly well, and they built the tension so incredibly well that whenever the gun hit the floor, I probably felt the most anxious that I've felt watching a film in quite some time.
I actually very much agree with that. It's just the writing alone for this movie is so well put out to the point where you, like you're saying, you don't know where the lines fall in. What is this whole life and everything, like from where he was on the bus to when he's laughing to himself, and was this in his head? Was this what landed him in the asylum to begin with?
Even if it is all completely spliced, even when he was like doing this with the kid and the kid seemed to be having a good time, what if the mother that I hated, I was like, hey bro, he's just trying to, make your kid laugh. What if he actually was annoying the kid, and the kid was like, Mom, can you help me? This dude's doing some creepy stuff. What if he thought he was being that way?
But he was really just like, it's like...
And it made you feel like angry towards everybody around him, was treating him bad, but it's possible that he really was being like weird and creepy.
What's crazy is the anger that we as the watcher were feeling for everyone around him, they were able to make us feel his emotion.
Yeah.
Which is incredible. Now here, I'm going to get into the thick of my theory about how this sits in the DC universe, because I do not believe it's going to be a one-off.
I hope not.
Even if this movie is a one-off, I don't think he's the Joker. I think that Arthur Fleck is, okay, so I know they always kind of said that the Joker was probably a little bit older than Bruce or whatever. I always felt that in the animated stuff and in the comics and it always seemed like they were probably close to the same age. That was
maybe a little bit older.
Yeah, just
I
a
always
little bit.
felt like 5 to 10 years
So the way I feel about it is, I think that this instance that happened, where Arthur Fleck inadvertently, whatever's real and whatever isn't, started this revolution, became a symbol. I think him becoming this symbol and also being the reason that Martha and Thomas got killed in the alleyway this time. This is literally
a domino.
Yes, I think this is literally going to be the origin story for what is Robert Pattinson's Batman. So I think that little Bruce Wayne is baby Robert Pattinson, and I think that Arthur Fleck is actually just the symbol that influences our soon-to-be Joker.
Yeah, he's like kind of like that. He took inspiration or whatever.
Exactly.
Or
because we never actually know who the Joker is. So in it of itself, I feel us knowing his name leads me to believe that that's not the Joker.
Yeah, and it's kind of the same as how he looks so drastically different than any other Joker iteration that's been done. He had the green hair, but everything else is so drastically different.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of leads me to think that rather than being the Joker, he is that pitching wedge that Joker pushes off to become
exactly
the Joker.
His inspiration, what he takes a lot away from Arthur Fleck and what he was doing. Even that crazy scene about mental illness and shooting Robert De Niro in the head. People get what they fucking deserve.
Man, that scene felt so Gotham to me. Like, that was like when I saw it, I was like, that point, it felt like DC.
Yeah,
because before that, it didn't really feel like a DC movie.
Which
honestly.
is good, because how many DC movies can you really say that about recently that actually felt DC to you? Because that's one of the main reasons that we always say DC has better animated films, Marvel has better big screen films,
and they feel totally
DC
different.
has better TV shows.
But that's part of the reason that this movie's so good, because it's so different from a lot of the other films, but it's also so beloved because this is more of a representation of the storytelling, which is indicative of DC films. Yeah. I mean DC comics and like the animated cartoons and things like that. Because as soon as I was watching this, first thing I thought was, this could be an animated film. I was like, it just only difference is it's live action.
It's very interesting to hear critique from people who don't really, like, they're not nerds or they don't really watch DC movies and stuff, but they watch this like unbiasedly, like, of what they know about the Joker. I guess it's just very interesting to hear people's opinions
if you didn't know, in my opinion, even if you didn't know anything about DC superhero movies, the Joker, and this is just a film you went to go watch called The Joker, and you don't know anything, I feel like it probably still makes you feel real awkward and
100.
It still makes you feel something.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
And the story is good enough where you really don't need to know anything about or even feel anything towards
because
Batman.
there's no real, because with the Joker has never had a concrete origin story.
Yeah, which is why I don't think he's the Joker.
Yeah, he even Joker has said in the comics, he's like, some days I remember it one way, some days I remember it another.
Well, he actually has knowledge of the complete multiverse.
Yeah,
so.
he says, if I'm going to have a past, I would rather have it multiple choice.
Oh my God, can you imagine just another Joker film with Joaquin Phoenix, but
a different origin?
It's completely different. Like, what if it was almost just parallel to this film, but anything that happened was... I don't think that would work so much as another film idea, more as you released the DVD with a completely different perspective. Like, if you had all the camera angles and everything this way, that was another thing. As he was slipping more and more into his demented state, the camera angles got lower and lower.
Oh yeah.
So
And the color changed too.
yes, and the color gradient.
Well, see,
changed
a
on
lot of the
film.
times though, all the like happier moments or whatever were like colorful, and all like the
Like they were
moments
more
were
brighter, but like the
dreary.
darker sides was
So our
more
friend
grainy.
was conversing with us and was saying that like he thinks all the colored scenes are fake and all the normal colored things were real, which was an interesting
makes sense.
take.
But
That would very much sense.
that's what's beautiful about the film though is how like this is one of the instances where you know how before I said I don't like things that are open ended unless it is written like this. In this case, I really like all the different possibilities of things that could be and could not be. And if you have to admit, what I said more was the ending not being concrete. The ending not being concrete, and it really felt like this
It
movie
kind of
still
leaves it
had
up
a
for
pretty,
the interpretation.
It really felt like this movie still had more of a concrete ending, though. It wasn't just because you don't know everything that happened during the movie. You kind of feel like that whole him getting pulled out of the car and then like lifted up and having this new mode of like self-confidence. I really like the way they integrated that his disease was the laughing disease, though.
Yeah.
That was cool. He had cards for it and stuff.
Yeah, and which is an actual thing, which is interesting because there is a mental illness where you have
Outbursts of laughter.
Outbursts of laughter.
Yeah, there's a name for it. Matt Pat said it, but I can't remember. It's a long technical sounding name.
I mean, I feel sometimes like whenever you're in an awkward situation or just getting in
sometimes,
trouble or something, and then you laugh like because you're just like
That's kinda
It's brought on by stress.
Yeah, because you don't really know how to like react, so you're just like
Oh, okay.
And here's the other thing. I was super excited because the director of the Ezra Miller Flash movie definitely stated that it's going to be a version of the Flashpoint Paradox, which I've been saying is the only way that you're able to remove Ben Affleck, that you're able to remove Henry Cavill, and then integrate these other characters and then have it all work, because then what happens? You just go, Barry, fucking up the timeline again.
Well,
so
Henry Cavill's still going to be Superman.
No, he ain't.
No, he said he was.
He said he was.
He said he was thinking about leaving though.
Yeah, I would say probably even more. I mean,
now that he's doing The Witcher and
yeah.
that thing's blowing.
Yeah, they're talking about doing 8 more seasons of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys are happy about that. So I mean, but that's the way you do it though. Is you literally go, and Barry will be like, "What? A couple of you look different. What's up?" And they're like, "What are you talking about, Barry?"
Well, we've been here the entire time.
Yeah, exactly.
Bruce comes out of the sun, comes into the sunshine all sparkly. We've been like this the whole entire time.
Hey,
Why are you sparkling like that?
They're just like, who are you? He's like, Bruce Wayne, and they're like,
no, you're not.
I think he's gonna make a great Bruce Wayne.
I saw his suit though.
Mm-hmm,
His suit is legit.
Yeah, he got like the blue and gray, right?
He got the blue and gray, which
come
it
on.
actually looks fantastic.
Yeah.
I was like, blue and gray, that's gonna look terrible. So I was like, I was wrong.
most people love or hate it. Honestly, it's a 50-50. Like
I like it because it's.
That's
more
why
like
people
it
love
too.
and hate most everything. It's either 50-50.
well, no, this in particular though. Like I've heard some people be like, "Oh, eyesore," and then other people are like, "Hell yeah, that's
Like,
the
oh,
classic."
eyesore.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, it's fantastic.
Well,
it's
you
terrible.
Remember, well, that's always going to happen, especially like from set photos or like first photos of characters and things of that nature. Even you remember whenever Joaquin Phoenix, the first pictures of him popped up. Tell me that people weren't 50-50 and saying, nah, he just looked like he put some paint on his face, you know? So, but that, even Heath Ledger, when Heath Ledger was, the first pictures of him as the Joker came out, you can go back and you can look. People just, I feel their initial jump reaction is to be like, this is trash, and I think that's mostly because it is comic related, and people that love comics really love comics, so they kind of want to protect that thing that they know.
Mm-hmm.
True.
That's
And
why
then- and
everybody
then-
hated the blue and red Harley Quinn. They were like, "Oh, this ain't our Harley Quinn. Like it's
But
awful."
yeah, and then you had the one that was unanimous, the hate for Jared Leto's one, which is trash.
My thing is, I didn't hate him as much as everybody else hated him. I felt as though if he was given more of his scenes and less were cut, because there were scenes that got cut, like showing his relationship with Harley Quinn and about how he was abusive and stuff. So I feel like if you had integrated more abuse of Harley Quinn and the mindset of that, I feel like he would have been more well received because it felt like the only scenes they were showing. I think that has a lot to do.
Scenes.
Well, filler scenes and then lovey-dovey scenes.
Yeah.
And if you get a Joker that you want to act like is lovey-dovey with Harley Quinn, that's not the relationship between them two.
Yeah. Well, they did release the extended cut.
Speaking of cuts, release the Snyder cut. Quit playing.
Yes.
Quit playing.
Yes.
Release the Snyder cut. Jason Momoa said he saw it. It was beautiful.
It's better. It can be better than Batman making fucking jokes.
Zack Snyder literally will release pictures of things where he says, "Hey, look, this is Wonder Woman meeting Darkseid," like a screenshot or something, and he'll be like, #release Snyder cut.
Hey,
and
this is Oa with the Green Lanterns. Release the Snyder cut. Hey, this is Martian Manhunter. Release the Snyder cut. Hey, this is Batman not making fucking jokes from fucking Joss Whedon.
Well, that's the problem. You sometimes when it comes to positions, right? You can't have, in my opinion, two minds, especially two very different
drastically different,
on the same project unless one is a head and one is a co. You can't have one that did 40% and one that did 60% and then expect a cohesive project.
No, it's gonna be a mangled mess, and it was a mangled mess. In the beginning was fantastic. It had grit. It had substance, and then it goes.
You could tell the instant that it ends being Zack Snyder.
Yeah,
it's so crazy, and. I felt like we were so close to the moment because I felt like for a lot of the DC films, people's main critique was, it's dark, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, it's DC.
What do you expect?
But that's the thing. I felt like people were starting to come around to the fact that, oh, okay, we're walking into a DC film. We have something to expect. It's going to be dark. And then partway through Justice League, they're like, what's up with these flowers?
Yeah, that was really weird.
But I will say this, though. Regardless of whatever Jason Momoa is in, he still does great. So,
Aquaman.
So even his scenes in the Justice League movie, like when he was sitting on the lasso of truth.
I was just thinking about that.
It's still great.
He says, "We're all gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're gonna die. You."
Hey,
fantastic.
He was like, I know that the Atlanteans and the Amazons went to war, but baby, that's a long time ago.
And it's just like, we talked about none of this. He's like, I'm still on the where we're gonna die thing.
Yeah. What did he say? He said he was gonna feed them to piranhas or something like that.
Yeah. But I did like the on Crisis on Infinite Earths where you got to see that small peek of Ezra Miller.
That was super cool. Mm-hmm. I feel like right now the DC TV shows are just like, what do you fans want? Oh, here you go.
Yeah.
I know you want this. Here you go.
They actually listen to their fans, which is the best thing that they could do.
It's wonderful.
They, I really like that they went to Smallville universe for a little bit, and you got to see a little bit of that action.
Oh.
I haven't watched it completely, but I've seen the cool clips,
Yeah, basically.
I've seen the highlights. I've seen the Infinity Earth highlights.
Just.
You want to talk about it?
Ooh, Superman.
Ooh, Smallville. Like Clark and Lois walk up. She's like, "Oh, he looks like the brawny guy from the Towel commercial." She's like, "I could cut wood without even an axe. What are you talking about?"
With one hand or
whatever. Yeah, with one hand. She's like, "Yeah, but it's,
Yeah, you don't look like that.
Yeah, you don't look like that.
You're not Superman."
Yeah.
But he ends up giving away. Ended up giving away his powers and shit.
Punching Lex.
And Lex is like, "Oh, I'm gonna fight you anyway." And he just catches his punch and knocks him the fuck out. He's like,
"It's like he may not have his fucking powers, but he's strong as fuck."
Like Mario, who lost his powers and still could fight.
Yeah, he's like, "I'm still stronger than you."
I like the way he said it too. He's like, still stronger. He's like, well, look at that.
I fucking love him. I fucking love him.
Yeah, but that's just one.
That's when Miranda comes into the podcast when we bring up
Tom Welling.
Yes.
Tom Welling with that salt and pepper.
Wait. There is one other person from Smallville though that I absolutely love. You know who I'm talking about?
Justin Hartley.
Yes.
The Green Arrow from Smallville.
Yeah,
The one that brought in that first brought in the leather look.
Welcome leather.
Look at all that leather. Look at all that leather.
Leather's always welcome. I ain't gonna lie.
Not in the summer.
Lily was
hell
lovingly
no.
looking at all that leather.
I'd be happy to die if I was.
Which I was
very.
I was very unhappy that they didn't have even like a background cameo of Oliver, of the other Oliver Queen.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, they did their absolute best, man. They gave you Superman from the movie that turned into Adam. You know what I'm saying? He was Superman again.
Yeah, that was fantastic. It was Kingdom Come
Yeah,
Superman.
they gave you Ezra Miller. They gave you Tom Welling. Bro,
they gave me Spectre.
What more do you?
Fucking Spectre!
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
god!
What more do you want? Jesus Christ! They're doing their best at it. They literally are doing their best.
You
at
want
it.
Christian Bale to come up?
No, Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I mean, they did give him like a tiny little.
They did the tiny tidbit in the beginning where when they announced Bruce
hit.
Wayne's marriage to Selena Kyle in the newspaper.
All I'm saying is, I still think they need to do a Batman Beyond movie.
Yes.
And you
No, they
already
need to
know.
do Batman Beyond series.
Well,
like live action.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like a Batman Beyond movie with Mark Hamill as the Joker, and then animated.
Kevin Conroy.
Yeah, Kevin Conroy is old Batman. So you have old Joker and you have old Batman, and you could do the Batman Beyond.
Who?
And I think I would like Glenn from Walking Dead.
Yes.
To play
Terry?
Yeah, Terry McGinnis. Interesting pick, I know, but I feel like he could
He's
pull
got
it off.
he's got a pretty good
I honestly
physique
think
for it,
I can honestly see that.
Yeah.
And there's never been an Asian Batman, which
Yeah.
would be really interesting to see.
Yeah, I feel like his physique and the way that he acts really fits the role, and he could just kind of have a little bit of this, like you could tell he's intelligent, but then he could play like
He's also like fighty,
yeah, exactly,
scrappy.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Who would you have play?
I haven't.
That's just one of the ones I would
I
have
haven't
on
even
my.
really thought about
That's
it.
one of the ones I'd have on my list.
That's a good one. To be honest, it's hard to beat that. If they could get Steven Yeun, that'd be great. Because people already recognize him from The Walking Dead, so I feel like it would draw
He's got that
a
name
lot of-
notoriety.
Yeah, I feel like it would draw a lot of attention.
Oh, I haven't even thought about who would be a good Terry McGinnis. I'll have to get back on you.
Yeah,
I don't know why I started thinking about it, and I don't know why he popped in my head. Dante Basco for some reason. I don't know. He just like popped in my head. I'm like, why?
Whenever we were closing the door on him.
Oh god.
Huh.
No, whenever you were closing the door.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I feel like you do.
Yeah.
No.
That
no,
sounds
no,
that sounds
no.
awfully suspicious.
That seems like you do.
Nope.
But yeah, Batman Beyond movie would be dope.
Oh, that'd be like either getting Michael Keaton to be old Batman or getting Kevin Conroy to be old Batman.
I'm stuck
Kevin
in
Conroy.
Kevin Conroy.
Because look, it wouldn't matter what he looks like because he's old Batman, and then
you get the voice.
oh, bro, that's what you would focus on. And the good thing is when it comes to Batman Beyond, that's mostly what you get from old Batman is the voice in the suit. So you would be getting voice of the Batman.
What I
in the
did
suit.
love in how they finally brought him in to be a live action Batman.
Oh, I was so fucking happy on that.
They actually Kevin Conroy can now count himself.
What was that? Was that Crisis Infinity Earth?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't even know about that one.
He was in there. He was
That's
in
breaking
the mechanical bodysuit
That's breaking
because
news
his
to me.
body was broken beyond belief.
Yep.
Ah,
So
I
he
like
was
that.
literally just like that.
But then he talked.
So it's like, don't be so rude to our guests. I'm like, oh!
That's awesome. I love that a lot. I'm glad that you legally downloaded that for me. So
Yeah, like
I
100%,
I can break into that now.
100% legal.
I saw this thing.
Yeah, I was telling somebody about what I do with the VPN, and they were like, "Oh, my husband's part of the internet security thing," and I was like,
Oh.
"Oh."
That I was actually lying to check.
I actually
If she-
do
well, 'cause
live
I
in
was-
Dallas. Look, I got the coronavirus.
Well, she didn't say anything like that though. But she was like, "You're probably not being as safe as you think you are," is what she told me, and I was like, I'm pretty safe, but you know.
Hey, look, my computer always straps up with the VPN before it goes hard into the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in the virus.
Get that protection.
Yeah.
Do y'all still run your virus protection?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Like, why does my computer run so slow?
Well, she has a different computer now.
Yeah, I have ad block and all that stuff.
Yeah,
That being said, it's nice to have that duct tape backup just in case we ever.
Yeah, you never know.
Maybe the apocalypse.
My
happens and
dad
we need to get on
My dad specifically bought me a Tough Gaming, which is a military grade laptop, because he was like, hopefully you can't destroy this one.
Well, he saw the other one, and then I guess just assumed that she was the one that had gone hard on it, you know?
The duct tape.
Because imagine him walking in and then seeing that computer in the corner, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And
Well, the funny thing is, I didn't go hard on it. It was just a piece of shit.
Hey, look. It'll kind of get the job done.
It'll do something.
Yeah, it's better.
It'll do one something at a time, but it'll do that something.
Yeah, the annoying thing there for a little while when my computer was broken is it wouldn't check emails properly. So that's something that was like, why are you letting me get on my email, but then not letting me check the email?
And then I'm just like, here, get rid of your cache, run your virus protection, and there it is.
Look. You ain't gotta call me out on the podcast like that, you know? Let's talk about Mitch. I love you, bro. He'll never listen to the podcast. There ain't no way.
I'm gonna tell him to listen to it.
He won't. He'll be like, yeah, I'll get to it.
Oh, I forgot about it. I got busy with my guitar.
Yeah. He'll be like, I already started drinking the wine and then playing guitar, so I gotta get some tabs for somebody.
I was watching the fight scene from Man of Steel again.
He loves that fight
Oh
scene.
no, the training scene from Batman Begins with Liam Neeson.
But mostly it's that fight scene between Zod and Superman and Man of Steel. He just, whenever he gets drunk, that's his go-to pose.
Like, honestly, that movie, I don't know why that movie got so much shit.
That's a good movie.
I loved that movie. I loved the comic they were basing it off of.
Bro, this is weird. Has Henry Cavill gotten younger?
He kind of
does look like he's gotten younger.
I felt like in Man of Steel, my first view of him was, he's a little old, huh?
And then you see The Witcher and you're like, man, that's a young man. Right
now, in the other ones, like the Justice League and Witcher and stuff like that. I felt as though
But also they had to CG him in that one too, though.
Only for the mustache.
And his mouth looked weird, like...
That was, most of that was between Warner and, I forget if it was Sony.
It was whenever he was filming The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, but who was the house that was doing that? I forget. They were the ones being assholes though, because they had already finished filming.
It probably was Sony.
They didn't even need any more scenes, but he technically was still under contract with them until the movie came out.
So he had to keep them.
He literally had to keep the mustache on until the contract run out. So they did that just because they knew that Justice League was going to be a competing film. So they were like, "No,
we're gonna trash it a little bit."
So messed up.
Like they did not know that Joss Whedon was gonna do it for them.
Oh yeah. Well, at that point, that part was cool. That was towards the beginning, wasn't it? Whenever which by the way, Brightburn or whatever.
Oh, fucking Brightburn.
So good.
When you got movies like Shazam, Aquaman, Brightburn, this Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix, all these people love Wonder Woman. All these things point to DC heading in the right direction, which is good. Now, is Marvel going to be able to keep this up? Now
now that they got rid of their A-class,
it tends to be that thing. It's like, once you're at the top of the hill for a while...
It's all there is going is down.
Yeah,
because
Robert Downey... the highest grossing film of all time.
Yeah, Robert Downey Jr.'s gone. Scarlett Johansson has one last movie, then she's going to be gone.
Well, you never know.
Well, she's dead, so...
Yeah, but this is... But they can always do, like, prequels and stuff in between, and no one's actually dead.
True. But, like, Robert Downey Jr.'s gone, Chris Evans is gone.
I will admit this. Me and someone at work had this discussion. He said, "Hey, nah." He said, "Avengers, they're over." I was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Well, they don't have Iron Man anymore, so now they're trash." And I was like, "There are literally so many Avengers. Can a whole franchise fall apart over one character?"
Also,
what do you think?
The Guardians can carry this whole thing on too, because the Guardians also have like hundreds of members, and they have hundreds of stories, and they have whole comic lines.
They can also branch off and do the next Avengers, the ones that had like Spider-Man and Wolverine,
the
shit like that.
Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can do that.
They could.
Or
now,
they can bring off with the Falcon, Captain America. There you go.
One of the bright moments in the X-Men movies was Hugh Jackman and Wolverine. Other than that, they have had ups and mostly downs.
Yeah,
when it comes to the X-Men series.
It's oh, there's Hugh Jackman in there. Okay, everything's back to trash again.
To be honest, I don't want it right now, obviously, but I eventually want an actual proper Civil War, which the Avengers part in it was nice and it was great, but there was so much other stuff going on.
It did not feel like a Civil War.
Yeah, they had because the
but
original
still, the back
Marvel
and forth
Civil
between
War,
the good parts were the back and forth between Captain America and Iron Man.
Yeah, that was wonderful, of course.
Like the end fight scene, bro.
The thing about
but also everybody was a part of the Civil War. Every single character in Marvel was part of the Civil War.
The thing about Civil War is, if to do it justice, I don't think it could be a movie. I think it could be a series.
I agree with that.
But I don't think it could be a movie because there's so much going on.
Even if they were to do like an
animated, you could just make it long as shit,
that.
like a Lord of the Rings thing.
That's
well,
true.
even
did Lord of the Rings not do the books justice?
Oh, Lord of the Rings were fantastic.
All right then.
Well, they had two.
So is Lord of the Rings books longer than
Civil War? So we'd have to do a 3-part Civil War movie.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I'd love that. But not now. Like further down the line.
Yeah.
But they do have 2 Civil War video games though out. That is the actual proper Civil War.
Yeah, it's Marvel.
Yeah.
Assemble Alliance.
Yeah, those are actually really fun though.
For the Alliance.
Aren't those mobile
Fuck the
games?
Alliance.
No.
Oh.
Well, they have the Marvel
Okay.
mobile games, but these were on like PlayStation. And they were actually pretty like for PlayStation games. They're actually pretty in depth, and they had a lot of characters.
If they were smart, people would jump on that train of how well Spider-Man did with the open world gameplay, and they would do more of that with superheroes. So there was talks of an Iron Man one like that.
No, there's actually one coming out for like Avengers in general.
That'd be cool. I mean, even me, I really enjoyed. I didn't play too many of the Lego games, but one that I did play the shit out of was Lego Marvel.
Yes, that was so fun.
And because that was low key kind of
too.
You got a little bit of an open world effect with superheroes in that.
Yeah.
Because you
everybody
got to run around.
was in it, bro. Like they had Ghost Rider, the Blade was in it. Like you could be Venom. It was great. There was so much you could do.
Also, here's the thing with Tony. Say Robert Downey Jr. was he wanted to do too many other things. He's devoted so much of his life to Avengers and being Iron Man. I think a way that you could integrate him back without taking his time away from him is doing that thing I think you guys talked about, right? Where he was literally just like a hologram in a suit.
where it's basically like, look, I never got to finish.
Because then he could just do voice acting.
Yeah, I never got to finish the concept I was telling you about. It was about how they brought him back without bringing him back. It was during Superior Iron Man, whenever he had the Extremis, where he kind of became kind of a bad guy. So there was a protocol that was installed into one of his armors that if he were to go bad, a blueprinted and like a printed out and like complete artificial mapping of Tony Stark's brain as it was previous were to take over and be the true Iron Man again.
Yeah, without all the human distraction.
Yeah.
I think what Marvel's doing with I think they're being smart right now because they're doing the Mobius thing,
Yeah,
and
Mobius,
I feel
yeah.
like they're gonna do like the Venom and like stuff like that. They're branching
They're
off
gonna
into like
build up the Spider-Man universe.
yeah, and they're branching off into a more darker Marvel, like what Blade was doing in the beginning. You know, Blade was actually like so successful.
Well, with the
in the
whole
beginning of
the
that.
whole thing that they're doing right now, they're actually trying to do the Sinister Six.
Yeah.
That's what they're trying to do for that.
See, I had a feeling they were trying to do something more darker and stuff,
Yeah.
which is awesome. And they're also doing the Blade as a series too.
Yeah.
So they're bringing in more of these darker, more mature things.
Yeah.
Because I honestly
I
feel
kinda
like
feel
they
like-
went kiddie for a while.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's gonna drop down. It's whenever you get to that high peak like Endgame, it's going to go dip down because
Or even when
But
if they have a film that does well, it's still everything's going to be compared to that bar that's so
yeah,
high.
that's like, kind of like their magnum opus right there. But it's like they're gonna dip down. But I know that I kind of feel this is like they're already planning about how to get back up,
Yeah,
and it's gonna be a slow burn. Because, like, you had all those different movies just to bring us up to the first Avengers, which hit that bar up, and all those other ones that hit that bar up again.
I mean, honestly, I hope all these movies, these darker movies coming out, I hope they bring back new metal. Just me personally, because they're coming out with the new Matrix and stuff. I just want to see it.
Yo, I'm so excited for the new Matrix and the new Bill and Ted because it's gonna be on my 30th birthday.
And I'm looking forward to John Wick.
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm just like,
Oh no,
they're bringing
yeah,
back
no,
these
it
like
wasn't the Bill and Ted,
gothier
it's,
movies.
It was
John Wick.
John Wick and Matrix.
Either way,
They're
it's
releasing the
Keanu
same day.
Reeves.
Keanu Reeves versus Keanu Reeves.
To be honest, I would watch a movie where it was Keanu Reeves versus Keanu Reeves.
Like,
No, I want to take all the scenes, all scenes from both movies and splice them together. So it's
No,
Keanu
the
Reeves
Will,
versus Keanu
the Will
Reeves.
Smith, the Gemini Man or whatever with Will Smith or whatever. It's not. I don't think that's what it is.
No, it
but-
is
Oh,
Gemini
it is.
Man.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Gemini Man
Well, they could do that, but with Keanu Reeves.
Which I
like
heard,
young
which I
Keanu
heard
Reeves.
was
versus dude. Just a.
Oh no.
No, but can we do that for my 30th
Oh,
birthday?
man.
Just have a double feature.
I'm down for that. Are y'all down for that?
That'd be
Keanu
cool.
Day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Day-
we'll
Day
watch
of
all the Bill and
Keanu.
Teds and then go go into the movie theater.
Dio de los Keanu, you know what I'm saying?
We're like, screw Miranda, it's not your day, it's Keanu's day.
Yeah.
Like,
But it's my 30th.
It's Keanu's day.
But-
Okay, he's breathless.
I kind of
Or
so
breathtaking.
honestly
breathless.
Between-
Trying to-
dead.
Shut up.
trying to
Between
tell
what-
him, man.
between Marvel and DC, to get back on what we were talking about before, I think DC is getting caught up because honestly, the scene, the Crisis on Infinite Earths, the end scene with birthing a whole new reality, whole new all the universes, all being connected, all being conjoined and fixed and brought in. So what was bad was taken out, what was good was brought in. Everything like that. The whole birthing of an entire reality, bringing in a CW Justice League. It is pretty close to Tony's.
I really like what I like about it is the mobility that you have with having different universes that can have same characters with completely different actors. So you have this crazy mobility to literally do whatever you want, but then also intertwine it wherever you choose as well.
Exactly.
That's what makes it crazy, is because at first I remember DC catching heat because they're like, oh, they got two of these different universes. They got this dude playing the Flash and then another dude playing the Flash in the movie. But then at the same time, they were looking at Marvel films and the Marvel TV shows, and they were getting such high praise because they were exactly linked. You know, because it's a different linking between the two, because theirs would be like something happened in the Defenders, something happened, and it would exactly be at some point in time right in the midst of the actual universe.
Yeah, like same
Whereas-
with like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes, that's actually the first one that came to mind, but I just couldn't think of the name of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I only watched the first two seasons.
But
though.
but yeah, because the first two seasons are only good ones.
It's almost like I was like, man, I feel like this is about to get weird. Whenever they went downstairs and there was like that goo.
Like everything.
That's where I stopped.
Yeah, everything. Like the part with Ghost Riders, I think that was season 3 was really good, but everything after that. But they even fixed a lot of problems, and they like the Swamp Thing, how they only left it for one season, and they were gonna build an entire Justice League Dark off of Swamp Thing, but then the Swamp Thing got fucked up. Like, oh, we didn't get the same budget cuts that we were wanting, so we're not gonna do it anymore. The little temper tantrum bullshit.
Which is crazy because I feel like if you're able to get James Wan in on a TV show to direct it, you need to hang on to that because he is a prized director. And
the first season was immense, but they actually figured out a way where they can still get back on track, and it is with the Crisis on Infinite Earths, because in the end where it was when he had the monologue about building all the different universes, all the different worlds with all the different heroes, they reference Swamp Thing, which means that there's a possibility that they might be able to get it back on track with maybe not using Swamp Thing as the pitch off to get the Justice League Dark, but definitely bringing Swamp Thing in to be part of the Justice League Dark. I like it too, and it's good because it's fixing a mistake that whoever's made the mistake is a fucking idiot.
Hey, that's a genuine nerd response right there.
Yeah.
Worst decision ever.
Worst decision ever.
Yeah, that's good, man. You listen to the comic book, man?
Of course.
All right.
He has the best ideas ever.
His best ideas are just talking about how bad other ideas are.
Exactly, and that's a good idea.
Oh man, this is like that thing I was telling you about where I just watch that guy's reviews that like hates everything that I like, and I don't know why I keep watching, but I just do. I'm like, what is he gonna say next?
Because you like that feeling of you make me angry.
But I usually don't like that feeling. But this dude, I'm like, I think it's because
I love hating you.
I think it's because he does bring up like intellectual points where his side could make sense, but it differs to mine.
It's like, I hate you, but I respect your opinion.
Essentially, that's the way it is. He'll say something, he'll be like, this was a bloated project with this, and this wrong with it, and I'm like,
he's like, fuck you, and he explains why. It's like, okay, that's a valid reason, but still, fuck you.
I disagree with 100% of my being, but also I can see where you're coming from, you piece of trash. Nothing but a big piece of trash. I'm gonna stomp a mud hole in you and walk it dry. I'm the Texas comic snake. I don't know, that was...
The Texas comic snake?
I was trying to interweave.
That sounds like a weird nerd sex position. It's called the Texas comic snake. You end up with the paper cut.
It says, find out what happens on the next issue. Ooh, this issue came too soon. I was just trying to interweave like wrestling and nerd. But I guess wrestling is kind of nerdy though.
Yeah,
that's a different genre of nerd. Which I know you guys don't watch wrestling, but
we used to back in the '90s when it was good.
Well, I know, but just know that the '90s kind of came back a little bit.
Oh, really?
Because
I know Kane started getting his mask back.
Well, Edge also came back. He was like a surprise entry in the Royal Rumble, which was super cool. Which, if you were back in the '90s, you remember all the back and forth with him and Matt Hardy, and them like having a love triangle with Lita and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, you do.
No, but me and my sister used to watch wrestling like crazy back then.
It's soap opera with slamming people on the ground. Yeah. It's fun.
Violent soap operas.
Yeah, exactly. But the Edge surprise came back in the Royal Rumble, and then him and Randy Orton were in there. So you're getting like a bunch of nostalgia, and they kind of were like helping each other, and it was like rated RKO again. But of course, both of them being kind of heel type of people, like Edge was like walking, and then he was like he like turned around and like Randy was like in the RKO position. Then he was like, "Hey, what do you want from me?" He's like, "You knew I was gonna do that." Like he was like, "Oh yeah, I guess." And then they're fighting a little bit later, and Edge ends up like surprisingly like going and flipping Randy Orton over the ropes, so eliminates him. And then Randy's like, "What the hell, bro? What are you doing?" And he was like, "You know damn well you were gonna turn on me." And he was like, "Fair enough." But just to integrate a little bit, just know that I was like, oh, I was actually pretty hyped because, well, okay, I watch the fitness stuff online, which I watch Sheamus, who has like a fitness channel, and he has other wrestlers on there, and he's had Edge on there before, and Edge has gotten in better shape. He was never one known to be like in crazy shape or anything, but now he's like 47, and he's got like his six pack and shit, and like he's in like really good shape. And anyway, to get off, that's a little bit off topic. It's still nerve related, but just know that that's a thing that happened. All right, it all came from Texas Rattle Comic or whatever the hell I said earlier. The comic rattlesnake. Yeah.
The Texas comic snake.
Yeah. Stand in the back. There's a hurricane coming through. That was one of my favorites. That was Hurricane Helmsley. He'd always come in and get his ass whooped, but he was fun because he'd walk in and he'd go. So yeah, DC heading in the right direction. Marvel, keep it up. They even have that What If stuff coming up. So like,
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So the fact that they're doing some stuff that's a little bit out of the realm of
and then the Falcon and Winter Soldier thing. I've seen some of the pictures of that, like some of the shots they got, and it looks. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see it.
What, they look good? I haven't seen any.
Oh, they look great. You get to see what Zemo's looking like, and Zemo's looking.
Zemo?
Zemo was the one that started the Civil War.
Oh, got you. At first I was like, I don't know why, but
Baron Zemo.
The first thing that came to mind whenever you said Zemo was actually a DC character. That one that was connected by like he was supposed to be the worker that never got tired, never got whatever. But then a mutation happened, and there's like 5 different sections of him.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why that guy came to my mind, but
no, it's not a Mazo.
It's close.
Yeah,
it might be actually.
I think it's like Element Man or something.
No, it might be. Okay, Google. Who is Amazo from DC?
Amazo's the robot that can adapt powers.
Yeah, super villain.
Metamorpho.
Metamorpho!
That's who it is, Metamorpho.
That does
I don't know why. Did he have like a doctor? Because there was a dude that like he was kind of like referred by, right? Like there was a doctor that was helping him or something. When you get to watching and reading so many comics and stuff,
it all kind of turns. It all
I
turns
remember
into,
from the animated
nerdness.
series, like he had a thing for this girl, and the dad did not like him.
So the dad tried to
do shit to him, and that's what made him into Metamorpho.
Yeah, he tried to kill him, and then ended up.
What was
not...
his name? Hold on.
I feel like that's another good thing with like the Lego games and stuff.
Simon
They
Stagg.
kind of categorize everything and like kind of put it in an order where your mind.
And you
can
never
comprehend.
and you never trust a guy with weird eyebrows like that dude.
Oh yeah, like that or weird.
That or surprisingly sharp facial features.
Yes.
Or bald.
Bald with sharp facial features and possibly with or without a goatee, a sharp goatee.
Also, no eyebrows. Never trust a guy with no eyebrows.
Yeah.
Like one complaint I have about Crisis on Infinite Earths was the dude that they picked for Lex Luthor. He does not. I've seen all the episodes he was in. He does not feel like a Lex Luthor. He feels like a like the dad from 2.5 Men.
Yeah.
Just got too pissed off, decided to shave his head and take the pubes off his crotch and put them on his face, and then just became a midlife crisis wreck.
Well, the good news is, with the TV shows being the way they are, and if everyone genuinely has the same viewpoint, approximately, as you, the feeling about him, he's just from another universe.
Yeah.
So at any point you can make someone the main Lex.
I'm looking at him and I'm like,
you can't see it, can you? He looks like he looks like a guy that makes his own IPAs.
You know who they should have had for fucking Lex?
Yeah.
Smallville Lex.
But that
Fucking
would have.
love him.
I think they should have had a third party, because if
Yeah.
you have him, then it kind of makes
Everything
the
he said, yeah.
yeah, it makes the reveal for.
But have you seen that Lex?
No, I get it. He's great, and I've seen the other Lex that was trash, and I've seen the Lex from Smallville that's great. I'm just saying, in this instance, I don't think the Lex from Smallville would have been a good pick, just because then it lessens the reveal of Tom Welling.
I agree.
No.
It kind of
would have been funny if they did have that Lex, and at one point they had like a flash thing that he had. It was voiceover.
Yeah.
Because the
Where
Lex,
He's like, I'm the fastest man alive.
no, because the guy who plays Lex on Smallville played Flash on the animated Justice League series.
I was glad whenever Lex became Flash, and then he's like, "Who's this?"
Like now I can finally know the identity of the Flash. I have no idea who this is.
Yeah.
That was the best scene
So
ever.
Can you imagine Joker doing that, being like, "Oh, fuck."
No, I like it whenever Flash was in Lex's body. He was in the bed. They're like, "Aren't you gonna wash your hands?" No, 'cause I'm evil.
I love that. That's like Skeletor being like, "I'm not
Yeah.
good."
No, seriously, out of the Justice League animated series, the Flash is the best.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone else says.
He identifies because it's like everyone told me to take over the ship, but they never asked me how if I knew how. I'm just like, that's adulting right there.
No, but I love him because he
Is it possible for you to legally obtain Justice League and Justice League Unlimited?
I can legally obtain
Dude, I
them.
already got that shit on DVD.
Great, we don't gotta
okay.
worry.
Legally.
Because I only
Legally.
We got the
I only-
projector.
I only have the only Justice League that I have is the 4-part series where Green Lantern's getting framed for that murder of the planet and stuff, which is great.
Yeah.
But
I got you covered. I got you.
Appreciate you.
I got you legally covered.
Yeah.
Fuck how.
I'm sorry. I need to remember. Sorry. We fist bumped it and his hand broke.
All for one. Weak little Deku.
No. You're deflated, All Might.
I'm powerless, deflated All Might.
We've talked
Missing a
about
lung.
this. You said missing a lung.
Ugh.
It's cool. We'll figure out the horn girl. We'll get her rewind capability. You know what I'm saying, locked in, and we'll figure this out. Oh, too bad the healing kisses don't work on you. The little old lady. You know what I'm talking
She's
about.
like,
No.
she's like, I try to kiss.
I tried to kiss all over his body, but there's one place he wouldn't let me near. But I kind of think that was the spot that I could have healed the best.
He really did himself in.
He's just like, I'm fine with dying. I'm fine. Please no.
You remind me too much of my grandma. I'm just gonna die. I'm going.
Just let me die.
Yeah, let me meet my grandma. I don't want my grandma kissing me in real life. You understand?
in places you don't want her to kiss.
It's like Yes Man. Whenever the grandma took out the dentures, whenever he had to say yes to everything. You remember that? And then grandma took out the dentures and then gave him the best blowy of his life.
I haven't seen that movie in like 10 years.
He said, "Oh," and he was like, "Oh." It'd be great if I don't feel like saying yes to everything would turn your life around though like that. I'm just saying. You gotta know when to say no. Oh, you know what's crazy? That dude from the UK or whatever in The Office, the funny dude in that movie, you know who I'm talking about?
It's been a long time.
He is freakishly tall, dude.
Hmm.
No, he's like 6'6" or something. I didn't even realize.
Ricky Gervais's friend?
Yes.
With the glasses?
Yes.
Yeah, they had a podcast together.
He's so freakishly tall.
Those are good listens if you want to laugh your ass off.
Oh wow.
If you want to laugh your ass off, you listen to this show.
Yeah, the nerd word.
Yeah,
Hey,
listen to
she's
this.
pulling on her collar. You got something to say, huh?
No,
Huh?
it's
Get her the
Alright,
fuck out of
we got
here.
a new segment of a popular opinion going on.
Oh, yeah. Look
No,
the other
I
look
love
out
the
for.
nerd word. I love being on the nerd word. It's
Oh
a great time.
yeah, good save. Good
Give me
save.
some of the
Sounds
cut.
like a
I'm just
PR. Sounds like a PR stunt to me. She's
Yeah.
over there. Look, anything.
Look,
I may
I'm
have
just gonna
said-
say that the Weeb episode that me and you did together only got 5 views, okay? Whereas all the other videos are like in the double digits at this point.
It's because
It's probably liking that episode is an unpopular opinion.
yeah.
So that's probably why.
Yeah, and segue, release the Snyder Cut.
Yes. Release the Snyder Cut, just like I have an EP releasing at the end of the end of the month, 2/29/20. Yeah, so Rapid Meditation is gonna be out. You know, I'm sure that I have some nerdy bars on there. How many rows are you gonna do it at? 2?
Just 2 rows.
She's adding studs to her leather jacket.
So
For
she's
my Black Canary cosplay.
yeah, she's working on a cosplay as we do the podcast.
Yeah.
Because
It's
there's
called
nothing more
multitasking.
nerdy than that.
That's why sometimes you don't hear from her, and sometimes she just busts into the podcast.
It's
That and sometimes you randomly hear, "Ow, fuck!"
Yeah. True.
Oh,
True.
yeah.
No, well, I don't say ow fuck. I go ow.
Oh, I mean that could be fucking backwards language.
Uh,
That's just that evil demon, the backwards demon talk.
That's, she learned it from that cake.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm trying to get a
My favorite- one
cosplay
of my favorites
together
is
Yes.
because me and Angela might go see the new Birds of Prey movie, and we might be in
You know,
cosplay.
my anticipation for that
I'm
film
excited for
has built
Yes.
over time.
Her outfits are so cute.
At first, to be honest, I didn't want anything to do with it. And you know what? That's coming from a person that unpopular opinion, actually, I don't have too much of a problem with the Suicide Squad. Some people hate it. I don't really have a problem with it. Only thing I think is they tried to do too much at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But other than that, I liked the introduction of the characters.
Oh
I
yeah, that was fantastic.
I like the
liked
choice of
Enchantress.
music.
The development, the character development was, for the most part, for like the main Suicide Squad was really good.
Man,
Yeah.
people didn't like Enchantress, but I thought they did a
But
good job.
my
She looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I love
I
until
love
she got that new change and she's like full body dry heave going.
Bag full of snakes.
Bag full of snakes.
But it's just like my main issues were Joker wasn't really needed
Yeah.
in that movie.
The thing is, you either go in or out on the Joker.
Yeah,
And they walked the fence, and that's why it didn't
Yeah.
sell.
exactly.
So you
Well, he
can't.
was under the impression that they were all in on the Joker.
Well, I mean, even in the trailers, they would lead you to believe that they were all in because they were showing mostly scenes with the Joker.
And
so
like
you thought you were
in
gonna
the
get a lot
poster,
of-
he was like the biggest part of it was the Joker.
The only scene I thought was good was the Lamborghini chase scene with like. Oh wait, that was in.
That
Justice
was-
League,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
no, that
No,
was
no, that was-
it was okay.
Yeah,
I
it was
thought
in it.
so.
It just
It was-
it made you feel like it was Justice League because of Batman was in
Okay,
it.
I wasn't
Yeah,
sure.
that part was in there, and then the scene with
That
the
was-
bat was there.
That was a fine. That was a fine.
Like
scene,
the like
My
using.
favorite
But the weird,
scene.
the scene, the stripper scene was weird for me.
That was my favorite scene.
I know, but it was a little weird for me.
because I felt like that was probably one of the more Joker things to do. He pulled a power move, which the Joker would do, and then also it wasn't all lovey-dovey between him and Harley Quinn. He literally was offering Harley Quinn to someone else.
Yeah, it's
to
like I'm
see
like
whether
a
or
piece
not
of
they would-
meat.
Yeah, to see whether or not they would take the bait. And I felt like if you were to do a Joker, a gangster New Age Joker, that would end up in a strip club, they would pull some gangster shit like that.
I really
and then
thought
it wasn't
that,
lovey-dovey. That's
Yeah.
what I...
I
The
thought the
scenes that
freezer
were lovey...
scene was good too. Whenever he's like, oh, being weird to that guy.
Ah,
The hand thing was weird. That was weird. But all the rest of that scene was fine.
Now, I will say this. They should have, in my opinion, should have done the Harley Quinn Joker movie first, led into Suicide Squad, and then led into the Birds
Because
of Prey.
then we'd
Like-
have more information on the Joker. We'd have more minutes and we'd know what
Exactly.
to expect.
And not only that, but it would balance out the movie. You could people would get their Joker hit. Jared Leto would be less butthurt. And
you
not
get
to
more
mention
of your Harley Quinn hit as well because
Yeah.
you get to learn a bit more about her as well.
exactly, and not to mention it'll give people a taste and make them want to see Suicide Squad more because they already get that little bit.
In their defense, though, they didn't realize how much of a hit Harley Quinn was actually going to be. Now, you can say that, yeah, you know that Harley Quinn is going to be the star, or like one of the ones that is most accepted as like, wow, she did her thing in that movie, but you can't know until it comes out. And for the most part, we didn't have any like surefire way of knowing that Harley Quinn was gonna
take off as.
But as soon as they did, the one takeaway, or one of the few really good takeaways of Suicide Squad, was everybody was like, "Hey man, Harley Quinn." And then what happened? They gave her Birds of Prey right off the, because
She
now
fought
they
for
know.
that, though.
That's the whole thing with like movies in Hollywood and stuff, is like if they're not, nothing is ever really a sure thing. You even if you really feel, something can flop, you know? So as soon as they knew that Harley Quinn was like a fan favorite, which kind of was before, but also Harley Quinn hasn't even really been around that long.
Oh no!
In comparison to other characters, so
like her first appearance was in the animated series.
Yeah, it's kind of like Guardians of the Galaxy, man. Anyone that really says that they were big ass fans of Guardians of the Galaxy before the movie came out is a liar.
And a hipster.
Yes, because the Guardians of the Galaxy weren't even, to be honest, even Iron Man. Before Iron Man came out, no one was running around saying they loved Iron Man.
Yeah.
It wasn't until after
They were like, "Who's
They're
Iron
like,
Man?"
"Oh, I know Iron Man. I used to watch that cartoon or whatever." Like, "Oh, it's a comic?"
Oh, you mean the big guy with the giant helmet? You're like, "No, that's Juggernaut."
Now I will say, with like the Birds of Prey coming out, I'm excited, but at the same time I don't care at this. Like, it's a weird thing with me.
You're like, I want to see it, but you're like, I could
you're
do without it.
conflicted.
It's like I want to see it.
It's probably because you got like underlying fear that it'll be bad.
Yes.
And especially having a character that's so important to you, like Black Canary.
Yes.
You even have Black Canary tattooed on your arm.
I don't think it's gonna do very good because people hate girl power movies.
They really do.
This is different,
So-
though. I think this is different because in most other girl power movies, it's not like, okay, so you have the Ghostbusters, right? The female Ghostbusters that just bombed for multiple reasons.
I mean,
one is bad.
They know
They didn't invest too much into the story. It was just majority jokes that weren't going to age well, and they just basically took the original story and just adapted it.
Now here's the difference between the two. We know for a fact that Harley Quinn fangirls are in full form right now. Like, how many people do you know? Like, when you go to a con, how many Harley Quinns do you see?
I see that one.
Shut the fuck
All
up!
right,
Don't throw me under the bus.
there's
I'm just saying. That's
How many Harley Quinns are Margot Robbie?
Oh
Renditions.
yeah, all over the place.
Yeah,
it's just like cooch crazy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You with other women empowerment films, you didn't really have that driving character. If you could name one, please do. But for the most part, And how well did it do?
Fantastic.
It did fantastic because you have to have at least the one core female character that people idolize or
can
She's super
sympathize
hot.
with.
That's the one thing
She's super hot.
I don't like about the movie is that
super hot female character doesn't mean success.
Yeah.
You're right, but it definitely helps.
Super hot female character that women idolize or really like or have like
Can
a
find
cult
empowering.
following for. Yes.
No, but that's the one
You have to have
reason
that
why
thing
I'm
to
not
grasp
gonna like
to.
this movie that much is that I feel like it's gonna focus way too much on Harley Quinn and not the actual Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
Because
So
Harley
It's
Quinn,
gonna be Harley Quinn featuring the Birds of Prey. And
Basically!
Pretty much.
I would say go in openly optimistic and then make your judgment call after.
Yeah, because like whenever I went to go see Suicide Squad, I'm going in. I have no opinions. I'm just watching this because she wanted to watch it, and for the most part, I was like, I actually enjoy this. The only thing I didn't enjoy, and I found out about this like later when I was like looking at like behind the scenes and shit, that the end scene, the climactic slow mo scene that took fucking forever and destroyed the pacing, and it just you're sitting there like, is the movie over yet? Kind of thing. Before they even got to the point where they point the gun, that scene was done last minute in a rush. because they had like, oh, we don't have a climactic slow-mo scene. Let's just make a climactic slow-mo scene real quick. And that's what.
So it's just threw it in there.
They just threw it in there, and I honestly think that was the worst thing they could have done to that movie.
Well, that's the thing, right? A lot of these films, the worst part of the film
is like that last minute throw in.
Exactly, or trying to do too much at the end.
Yeah, that ruined the pacing of the movie. That ruined the build up. That ruined the suspense. That ruined the action of the last critical hit.
Sometimes I can blame the people that are pushing the directors and producers and stuff to get it out at a certain time.
Like, they're like,
hey, look, our date to release it is at this day. You need to get it done regardless. Look, if you want the product to be good, then what you are going to do is give them time to make everything beautiful, nice, crisp, go over, start with your rough draft, work into your second, third, fourth, you need those other drafts to get a good line of the way stuff is, the way it is written and the way it is actually going to work in film. Maybe when they wrote it in the script, they're like, oh, when they added it or whatever, oh, this slow-mo scene's going to be so cool. Well, if they had, who knows, if they had more time and they looked at it and they're like,
oh man, this actually is shit. They could have put it back to the way it was. And like, this one may not be as good, this one may not be that great, but it's definitely not shit.
But yeah, so all in all, I'd say go into the movie with an open mind and then see what happens, because I mean, I don't know who the director is, but
if it's James Wan, then you're in good.
I doubt
feel like
that.
it's not.
No, of course not. I'm just saying.
Wait. I think I've talked about who the director is. I think is it the Guardians of the Galaxy director?
Yes.
Yes,
I think so, yes.
James Gunn.
Yeah, James, you might be okay.
I hope so.
Because
I'm a huge
it's gonna have some good music.
Like I'm a huge. I actually already listened to the soundtrack. I love it.
I'm just saying that makes me feel better. Knowing that James Gunn is doing it.
I'm a huge Birds of Prey fan. I have a giant collection of Birds of Prey comics. I know a crap load about it, and I'm just
about the way Guardians of the Galaxy is filmed and the way it looks.
Brightburn.
Yeah. Oh, James Gunn did that one too.
James Gunn did Brightburn.
Yeah. That shows his range.
Yeah. Sure.
I know there's like that one scene where the guy's in his truck and he just sees the kid. He's like, no.
James Gunn is not directing this. It is a person named Kathy Yan.
There was talks of him doing the Birds of Prey movie.
No, there was talks of him doing the next Suicide Squad.
Oh, but you can see where I could get confused.
Yeah.
Hey, you got confused with me.
I'm always confused.
I live my life in a steady state of confusion.
Where are we? What am I doing here?
I think we've reached the end of our podcast, buddy.
We were in a podcast?
Yeah, we were in a podcast.
Who are you?
I was in the Blitz.
I remember the Blitz.
I remember the Blitz. Well, we hope you enjoyed that. We talked a little bit of DC. We talked other things. I'll figure out what the title's going to be later. I'm Wyatt.
Who are you? I'm Austin.
I'm Miranda.
I'm Cecily.
And until next time, we'll see you later, nerds. Get the heck out of here.
What are you still doing here? Get out of here.
Yeah.
Leave!
What's this, MTV Cribs?
Yeah.